Your liver is quietly packed with fat right now, and until that clears, nothing else you do for weight loss will fully work. There's a drink that costs less than $1 to make. It targets the exact same hormone that Ozempic triggers, and it does something the $1,000 a month injection never touches. It pulls fat directly out of your liver. We'll get to the one counterintuitive part of this that most people completely miss. Quick question. When you think about losing weight, when was the last time your liver crossed your mind? The liver is the gatekeeper. Why fat loss stalls when it's clogged? Here's something almost nobody tells you. Your liver has to process every gram of fat your body releases before that fat can actually leave your body. It's not your willpower. It's not your metabolism being broken. It's a plumbing problem in the one organ sitting at the center of everything. When fat accumulates inside liver cells, a condition now affecting approximately 1 in 4 adults globally, according to the World Journal of Gastroenterology's 2023 Prevalence Review, the liver shifts into damage control mode. It stops prioritizing fat metabolism and starts prioritizing survival. Enzymes that normally break down stored fat get reassigned. Insulin sensitivity drops, and your body, sensing the metabolic chaos, begins storing more fat rather than burning it. The real-world consequence for you is this. If your liver is congested, a calorie deficit alone will not unlock meaningful fat loss. You can eat less, move more, and still watch the scale refuse to budge, because the exit door for fat is jammed. So the first move is not a new workout. It is clearing the organ that controls whether fat loss is even permitted to happen. Fix the liver first, or you're fighting with the drain blocked. How GLP-1 works and why your body destroys it in 2 minutes. Picture this. You just finished lunch. Somewhere in the lining of your small intestine, specialized cells detect the incoming food and release a hormone called GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide 1. This hormone travels to your brain and delivers one clean message. You're full. Stop eating. It also slows the rate at which your stomach empties so that fullness stretches further. And it signals your pancreas to handle blood sugar efficiently, which keeps your body in fat-burning mode rather than fat-storing mode. The problem is ruthless in its efficiency. An enzyme called DPP-4, dipeptidyl peptidase 4, begins dismantling GLP-1 almost the moment it appears. The half-life of natural GLP-1 in your bloodstream is approximately 2 minutes, as documented in a 2019 review in the journal Diabetes Care. 2 minutes. Your body builds the signal, and the enzyme tears it down before it can fully land. Ozempic's entire mechanism is one trick. It's engineered to survive DPP-4. The drug molecule resists the enzyme, so the fullness signal persists for days instead of minutes. That's it. That's the whole pharmaceutical innovation, longevity against one enzyme. Which raises an obvious question. What if something natural blocked that same enzyme? One enzyme. That's the only lock Ozempic picks. Matcha, the high catechin compound that mimics and extends GLP-1. Matcha is not a wellness trend. It is a concentrated delivery system for a specific class of compounds called catechins, and one catechin in particular, EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, does something that should be getting far more attention than it does. EGCG has been shown in multiple cell and animal studies to inhibit DPP-4, the same enzyme Ozempic was engineered to outlast. A 2021 analysis published in Nutrients confirmed that green tea catechins suppress DPP-4 activity, allowing your naturally produced GLP-1 to survive longer in the bloodstream. No synthetic molecule, no injection. The same biological outcome through a different door. But here is where matcha separates itself from regular green tea entirely. When you brew a standard green tea bag, you steep the leaf and discard it. You extract a fraction of what's inside. Matcha is the entire leaf, shade-grown, stone-ground into powder, dissolved directly into your cup. The result is 3 to 10 times more catechins per serving than brewed green tea. According to a comparative analysis in the Journal of Chromatography A, the real-world consequence is straightforward. A cup of matcha is not a slightly better version of green tea. It is a categorically different dose of the active compound. And dose is exactly what determines whether something shifts your biology or just flavors your morning. Same leaf, whole leaf, 10 times the firepower. The 12-week fatty liver trial, what the CT scans revealed. In 2009, a research team in Japan recruited 17 patients who all had one thing in common: confirmed fatty liver disease, verified by ultrasound and CT scan before the trial began. These weren't people who suspected they had a liver problem. The fat was documented, measured, and sitting on record before a single cup was consumed. The patients were split into 3 groups. One group drank high catechin green tea, the matcha equivalent density. A second group drank low catechin green tea. A third received a placebo, believing they were getting something beneficial. For 12 weeks, that was the only intervention. No diet overhaul, no exercise prescription. At week 12, the scans ran again. The placebo group gained weight. The low catechin group lost a modest amount. The high catechin group lost significantly more. And then came the liver data. The liver-to-spleen density ratio, the clinical marker for fat accumulation in the liver, moved from 0.91 at baseline to 1.01 after 12 weeks. Below 1.0 means fat is present. Above 1.0 means the organ is functioning normally. In 12 weeks, these patients crossed that line, drinking tea. That number crossing 1.0 is not a cosmetic change. It is the exit door for fat loss swinging open. Fatty to normal. 12 weeks, 1 cup a day. You've just seen why the liver comes first and how matcha starts clearing it. The next 2 ingredients we're covering. One of them has a 4,000-year medical history and was shown in a 16-week human trial to produce 6 times the fat loss of a placebo. If that sounds worth 3 more minutes, hit subscribe so you don't lose this video, and drop a comment below telling me whether you've tried matcha before. The best part of what's coming explains exactly how to stack all of this into 1 cup and multiply the effect even further. Moringa, the miracle tree that blocks the same enzyme as $1,000 injections. Most people have heard of matcha. Almost nobody in the weight loss conversation is talking about moringa, and that gap is worth examining closely. Because while matcha works primarily by boosting and protecting GLP-1, moringa attacks the problem from a different biochemical angle entirely. And when you stack the 2 together, the combined effect is measurably stronger than either one alone. Moringa oleifera, commonly called the miracle tree, has been used in Ayurvedic medicine for over 4,000 years, particularly across the Indian subcontinent, for conditions ranging from blood sugar dysregulation to inflammation to liver disease. But the reason it belongs in this drink has nothing to do with its vitamin content. It comes down to a specific compound found concentrated in the leaf: isothiocyanates. These molecules have been shown in peer-reviewed research to inhibit DPP-4, the same enzyme that dismantles your GLP-1 signal within minutes of it being produced. In a 16-week randomized human trial published in the Journal of Food Science and Technology, participants who supplemented with a moringa-based intervention lost on average 6 times more body fat than the placebo group. 6 times. Same time period, same general lifestyle. One variable changed. Moringa also mirrors matcha's liver benefit. Animal research published in Phytotherapy Research demonstrated that moringa extract prevented fatty liver formation by reducing lipid accumulation in liver cells. 2 ingredients. Both block the same enzyme, both clear the same organ, neither costs more than $1 a day. Same target, different weapon, and together they don't miss. How to make the drink and the lemon trick that multiplies absorption? 5 secs. What's the point of the most researched ingredients on Earth if your body only absorbs a fraction of them? That's not a rhetorical concern. It's a documented problem with matcha specifically, and there's a 1-second fix that most people making this drink skip entirely. Here's how to build the drink correctly. Start with 8 to 12 ounces of hot water, not boiling. Water above approximately 175 degrees begins degrading the catechins and EGCG you're specifically trying to preserve. Add half a teaspoon of organic, high-quality matcha. Look for a vivid, bright green powder. A dull or yellowish color signals oxidation and lost potency. Then add your moringa leaf powder. Crucially, the ground leaf, not an extract. Heat-processed extracts destroy the isothiocyanates that make moringa work. Whisk until smooth. Now the upgrade most people skip. Research from Purdue University found that adding a small amount of citrus juice to matcha preserves up to 5 times more catechins through the digestive tract. Without it, up to 80% of the fat-burning compounds begin breaking down before your small intestine can absorb them. A squeeze of fresh lemon shifts that absorption from roughly 20% to closer to 80%. Same cup, same ingredients, dramatically different biological impact. One optional addition: a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. It blunts the blood sugar spike from your next meal and pushes on the same GLP-1 and insulin pathway as the matcha and moringa. Skip the sugar, flavored syrups, and heavy dairy. Dairy proteins bind to EGCG and reduce absorption, partially undoing what the lemon just fixed. Best ingredients mean nothing if digestion dumps them. The University of Chichester walking study. 35% more fat burned. Imagine 2 women. Same age, same weight, same 30-minute brisk walk after lunch every day for 3 weeks. The only difference, one of them drank matcha 2 hours before the walk. The other didn't. At the end of 3 weeks, researchers at the University of Chichester measured fat oxidation, the rate at which their bodies were actually burning fat as fuel during the walk, and the gap was not subtle. The matcha group burned 35% more fat during the same walk, at the same intensity, over the same duration. Published in the International Journal of Sport Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism in 2018, this was a controlled crossover trial, meaning the same participants served as their own comparison group, which eliminates most confounding variables. The mechanism is straightforward. EGCG from matcha enhances the activity of enzymes responsible for fat oxidation during moderate aerobic activity, essentially turning up the fat-burning dial on exercise your body was already doing. The practical application here requires almost no lifestyle change. Drink the matcha moringa blend 30 minutes to 2 hours before a meal. After that meal, walk for 10 to 30 minutes. Even a slow walk counts. Research published in Diabetes Care in 2022 found that just 10 minutes of walking after eating produces significantly lower blood sugar across the entire day compared to walking at any other time. Lower blood sugar means lower insulin. Lower insulin means your body stays in fat-burning mode for hours after the walk ends. The walk was already good. The matcha makes the same walk work completely differently. Same walk, 35% more fat. 1 cup made the difference. The 3 levers pulled at once. And why the protocol compounds? This protocol works because it stacks 3 separate mechanisms on the same hormonal target simultaneously. And that compounding is the entire point. Lever 1. Matcha's EGCG inhibits DPP-4, extending the life of your naturally produced GLP-1 signal from roughly 2 minutes to a meaningfully longer window. Lever 2. Moringa's isothiocyanates hit the same DPP-4 enzyme through a structurally different molecular pathway, meaning the 2 ingredients are blocking the same target from 2 different angles at once, making it significantly harder for the enzyme to recover function. Lever 3. Walking after your meal triggers your gut lining to independently release additional GLP-1, layering a 3rd source of the hormone on top of the 2 that are already being protected. A forward-looking note worth tracking. As of 2024, at least 4 independent research groups are actively studying the synergistic effect of polyphenol stacking. combining plant compounds that hit overlapping metabolic pathways with peer-reviewed results expected between 2025 and 2027. The early signals suggest the combined effect is nonlinear, meaning two compounds working the same pathway may produce more than double the result of either one alone. One common misconception worth correcting directly: this drink is not a replacement for medical treatment. If your doctor has prescribed a GLP-1 medication for a diagnosed condition, this protocol does not substitute for that. What it does is pull on the same biological levers through nutritional means, levers that exist in every human body, medication or not, and adds the liver clearance benefit that pharmaceutical GLP-1 agonists do not address. 3 levers, 1 hormone, all pulled at the same time. Stack the levers right, and the body stops resisting. Here is the spine of everything we covered. Your liver is the gatekeeper. Fat cannot leave your body efficiently until that organ is clear, and Ozempic never touches it. Matcha and moringa both block the enzyme that destroys your natural fullness hormone, clear fat from the liver, and cost less than $1 a day combined. Add a walk after your next meal, and you pull a third lever on the same hormone, burning 35% more fat during movement you were likely already doing. Not professional advice. Consult a qualified expert as needed.